Following recording is a summary of The Now Habit, a book by Neil Fiore, PhD. It's one of the great books that deals with procrastination. First, author begins by listing some of the warning signs that will suggest that you are a procrastinator. It's not very valuable, as the author mentions, since most of us already know if we are, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cover them briefly. So the signs are: you view life as a long list of obligation, meaning it's kind of self-explanatory. You look at life and you think to yourself, man, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Life is just one big obligation, and I die. You're unrealistic about your time, meaning you always late for appointments. You cannot schedule your time properly. When you set a goal for yourself or task to complete, you always underestimate how long it's going to take, or things tend to last a lot longer than you expected. Uncertainty in your goals and values. You do things, but you're not sure why you're doing them. You're not sure what you want to do. You just you know what you should do, and you're doing those things that you should do, but you don't really know what you want to do, what truly is yours for you, and the stuff that goes on in your life. You feel unfulfilled, frustrated, depressed, pretty self-explanatory. Indecisiveness and fear of mistakes. If you notice yourself, like thinking, well, should I do this or should I do that, and end up a lot of times not even making a decision. Chances are you're a procrastinator. And of course, the final one is low self-esteem. Low self-esteem means a lot of times that it's not really a sign. As we'll see later, it's pretty much a cause of procrastination, but it's sign and cause. It's pretty hard to distinguish, and to build self-esteem, you need to overcome procrastination, and to overcome procrastination, you need to have high self-esteem, and author talks about all that later in the book. So the Now Habit is based on the positive view of human spirit, meaning that the author does not think that there is something wrong with people. In opposite, he thinks that naturally humans tend to be creative, proactive. They have that drive to succeed, drive for progress that was, developed in us through evolution. And the humans are essentially good, and they want the progress, and they want to do work. They don't want to just sit on the couch all day. But unfortunately, we kind of force ourselves to be failures through certain ways, which we're going to talk about in a second. So one interesting thing the author notes is most of us meet deadlines and get our task accomplished, meaning that we are not complete failures in life. We procrastinators, we are able to finish our school projects, we're finished to do our job projects, we're finished to graduate, we're able to graduate with decent grades, we're able to hold steady jobs. The problem, though, comes from distress. Distress comes from regret. Regret comes from knowing that you're not living your full potential, that you do things last minute, you do things half-assed, you feel like you could be doing so much more with your life, and you just kind of get by on the least minimum effort, just enough to get by and not go to despair, but you do not feel great about what you do, and you feel there could be so much more to life. The author believes that laziness, disorganization, or any other kind of character fault is not the reason for procrastination. They are, in return, are just the results of inner dialogues and inner problems and issues that people are facing. Such problems as fears of failure, fear of imperfection, fear of judgment. Since we are little children, we are raised to believe that you should do this, you should do this, don't do this, do this, do this. You're a good boy, you're a good girl, you don't do this, you're going to get punished. Our parents, our school system, our jobs, everywhere you go sets very high standards for us. If, for many people, and anything less of perfect, gets you in trouble. It makes you feel like you're a failure. You're not doing what you're supposed to. You need to do better. And as we slowly learn to accept this kind of thinking, and once we grow up, we tend to criticize ourselves in a similar way. In matter of fact, we get worse. We get our, we become what, the author calls our own worst critics. Maybe your parents would cut you some slack, but maybe your parents are happy with your accomplishment, but you just keep on pushing yourself, feeling you need to be perfect, you need to do this, you need to do that. And other people have a lot lower expectation for us most of the time than we have for ourselves. And this high expectation is what causes us to feel like we're never good enough, and that in return causes us to procrastinate. Which brings us to the next point. Procrastination is simply an attempt of coping with your reality, so to speak. Procrastination is a learned response. Procrastination is rewarding, meaning it helps you get rid of all these negative things in your life, at least temporarily. For example, if we look at fear of judgment, you feel like if you procrastinate on a task and then finish it last minute, you feel like, well, I didn't do my best, but I wasn't really doing this task. I did it real quick in 30 minutes, and wow, I got a good grade, or I got a praise from an employer, and I finished the task in 30 minutes. Just imagine what I can do if I was actually committed to the task. But in actuality, what happens is, you learn to procrastinate as a way to fool yourself into not accepting responsibility, and in return you avoid feeling of you didn't do job good enough because you have excuse. Oh, well, I just didn't real quick. So in that sense, procrastination relieves your anxiety. For example, when you procrastinate, oftentimes you engage in activities that are very easy on you, and they pretty much do not require any effort, and you forget about your worries, and then you go ahead and finish it up last minute. Or sometimes procrastination tends to go unpunished. For example, you had a test next morning, but you didn't study for the test, and you show up to your school, and the miracle happens. The teacher called in sick, the snowstorm covered your school, the class got canceled. Something happens that gets you out of this facing responsibility for your procrastination, and you learn to believe something good will happen, somehow I'll get out of it. There is a way to not do the work and still be okay. And the author believes that removing all the fears and underlying problems that cause procrastination will fix the problem. In the future videos, I'm gonna review how we procrastinate and what to do about it. Please subscribe or visit me at feedtherightwolf.org.